Breaking news. CNN News backlash, GOP pundit calls out left-wingers who rage at Trump supporters. Republican commentator Josh Holmes called out left-wingers who are raging at Donald Trump retweeting videos of his supporters heckling a CNN News reporter, pointing out GOP leaders have been the target of public harassment from anti-Trump protesters. CNN reporter Jim Acosta was repeatedly heckled as he covered a Trump rally in Tampa, Florida, with supporters of President Donald Trump screaming at the journalist to go home. President Trump and son Eric Trump retweeted videos of the accident on their personal feeds, sparking a debate on whether his apparent support for the heckling was appropriate. Republican commentator Josh Holmes defended the president, pointing out GOP leaders had also become the target of harassment from anti-Trump left-wingers. Speaking on CNN, Mr. Holmes said, "Working with the press, there is a very important function there. As many times as I have taken calls from folks and not like the questions, I still think it's important. That being said, I think we talk too much about it because I think that the common decency piece of this has less to do with the press and more to do with everything." Mr. Holmes, who served as chief of staff to Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, said his former boss had repeatedly been intimidated in public by demonstrators protesting President Trump's immigration policy. He continued, "You mentioned my former boss, Senator McConnell, and I don't think he has had lunch in 3 weeks without being heckled by a crowd of anti-ICE protesters who are trying to disrupt his lunch and everybody else is there. Trying to bully people and try to get people basically intimidated. There is no place for that in a society that is built on the rule of law, our respect of others." President Trump's son first shared the video of supporters chanting "CNN sucks" on his personal Twitter account. The president later retweeted the video on the presidential account to his 53 million people. The move marks the latest step in the increasingly conflictual relationship between Mr. Trump and the cable news network. During his working visit to the UK, the president cut short Mr. Acosta before he could question him, saying, "CNN is fake news." Later the same month, the White House banned CNN correspondent Caitlin Collins from a press pool event because of questions she had asked during a meeting between President Trump and EU Commissioner Jean-Claude Juncker. After retweeting the heckling videos, Mr. Trump wrote on Twitter, "Wow, at Folks and Friends is blowing away the competition in the morning ratings. Morning Joe is a dead show with very few people watching, and sadly, fake news CNN is also doing poorly. Too much hate and inaccurately reported stories, too predictable."